Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you how the pros use a piece of math you probably learned in high school to build, well, basically perfect investment portfolios.
So let's just start with a puzzle that every single investor faces, right? I'm talking beginners, seasoned pros, everybody. How in the world do you build the perfect investment portfolio, one that actually does everything you want it to?
And you know, this isn't some simple little problem, because your goals are always fighting each other. It's this constant battle, right? You want massive growth, but you also want to keep your money safe. You want those sky-high returns, but you absolutely hate seeing your account balance jump all over the place. It's a messy tug of war.
Okay, so let's dive right into this. This is the investor's endless puzzle, that constant balancing act between risk and reward.
I mean, think about your own wish list. You want to maximize your long-term return, of course you do. But at the same time, you want to minimize risk and volatility so you can actually sleep at night. And on top of all that, you have to keep your entire budget invested, no cash sitting on the sidelines. Plus, you might have other more specific rules, like maybe keeping your portfolio market neutral, which is just a fancy way of saying you want it to be immune to the market's big swings.
So this all sounds pretty messy and qualitative, right? It's just a bunch of feelings and wants. But here's the kicker, and this is where it gets really cool. What if we could take that entire wish list, all those competing goals, and translate it all into a single elegant equation? We can literally turn the art of investing into a science.
So how do we do it? Well, it all comes down to an elegant mathematical solution, and the power behind it is this little thing called AX equals B.
Now, this equation, AX equals B, probably gives you some flashbacks to algebra class, right? But trust me, in finance, this is way more than just a formula. Think of it like a master recipe. It's a framework that lets us solve for unknown variables, our portfolio weights, by giving it a set of clear rules. And what's so amazing is how perfectly each piece of this puzzle maps onto the world of money. So that A matrix, that's just the rules of the game. It's all the data about our assets, the risks, how they relate to each other. The B vector, that's our financial goals. That's where we put our target return, our budget, you name it. And X, well, X is the magic part. Those are the unknown variables we're solving for, the exact mix of our portfolio. It's what we're trying to find.
Okay, so how do we actually build one of these things? How do we go from our goals to a full-blown matrix?
Well, we build a system step by step, one rule at a time. Every single goal you have becomes a new line in this equation. So, rule number one, our budget constraint. All the weights, the percentages we invest, have to add up to 100%. Simple enough? Step two, our return target. We tell the system, hey, the weighted average return of this whole thing needs to equal, say, 12%. And then, step three, we can add any other constraints we want, like keeping our market beta locked at 1. And this is what it actually looks like. We've literally turned our goals into a matrix. See that top row of all ones? That's our budget rule. It just forces all our weights to sum up to 1.0. The second row with the little mu symbols, that's where we plug in the expected returns to target our 12% goal. And that third row with the betas, that's our rule to make the portfolio move right alongside the market.
And once all that is set up, a computer solves for X, those W's in the middle, in a fraction of a second. The answer it spits out isn't just a bunch of random numbers. No, it's the exact, perfectly optimized recipe telling you what percentage of your money to put in each asset to meet every single one of your goals.
But hold on. Before we just take that answer and run with it, we have to do a crucial stability check. We need to ask, is this solution actually reliable? Because, just because math gives you an answer doesn't automatically mean it's a good answer. This is a really important question. I mean, what happens if the assets we pick are all super similar to each other? Imagine trying to build this system using like 3 tech stocks that all move in perfect lockstep. That similarity can make the whole mathematical system really unstable and spit out frankly, some crazy, unreliable answers.
So to figure out if our system is stable, we use something called the condition number. Just think of it as a stability health check for our matrix. What it does is measure how much the final answer, our portfolio mix, is going to change if our starting inputs are just a tiny, tiny bit off. It's basically a sensitivity test.
And the way you read it is super straightforward. If the number's low, say under 1,000, you're good to go. Your system is stable. If it starts creeping up into the thousands or hundreds of thousands, well, now you've got potential instability. And if it's over 1 million, forget about it. Your system is highly unstable. It's like a Jenga tower that's about to fall over. Yeah, a high condition number means that your so-called optimal portfolio is actually incredibly fragile and totally unreliable. Ignoring this number is, seriously, like building your dream house on a foundation made of sand. It's just a recipe for disaster.
Okay, so once we've confirmed our system is stable, now we get to the real payoff. This is where we can use this whole framework to map out the entire efficient frontier, which is basically the menu of all your best possible choices.
So instead of just solving for that one target return of 12%, what if we solved the system hundreds of times for every possible return we could want? We could ask, what's the best portfolio for a 5% return? What about 6%? What about 7.5%? We do this over and over again.
When you plot all those answers on a chart of risk and return, you get this beautiful curve. And that curve is called the efficient frontier. And here's what's so powerful about it. Every single point on that frontier represents an optimal portfolio. It means for any level of risk you're willing to take, there is no other portfolio on Earth that will give you a higher expected return. It's the ultimate menu of choices.
And once you have this menu, you can immediately spot some really important locations. Way over on the left, you'll find the minimum variance portfolio. That's the one with the absolute lowest possible risk you can get. Then there's another point, the maximum Sharpe ratio portfolio. That's the sweet spot, the one that gives you the most bang for your buck in terms of risk-adjusted return.
So what this does is it completely transforms investing. It takes it from just guesswork and a gut feeling and turns it into a clear, strategic choice along this curve of optimal possibilities. You can actually see the trade-off. You know exactly how much more risk you need to take on to get that little bit of extra return.
So we've gone from a total puzzle to a clear picture. We started with this messy, confusing puzzle of conflicting goals. I want more return. No, wait, I want less risk. And we ended with an elegant framework, AX equals B, that creates a visual map of every single optimal solution.
So now that you can map the entire universe of optimal portfolios, which point on that frontier would you choose? See, this framework gives you the map. It shows you all the best roads you can take. But the final choice, which destination you actually go to, that still comes down to you. The math can't tell you how much risk you're comfortable with. It gives you the perfect options, but you still have to choose your own adventure.